champions and we deserve this. We rose to the moment, and here we go. Hi, welcome to the Long Distance Playbook. My name is Chris Hunt. I am the host for today only because our normal host is driving. And I also have on the show with us my man, Jay, good old my boy from Tampa, who over there just letting us know it's nice and warm there.
It's not. It's cold, hence the sweatshirt.
Cold? What's cold? Like 50 degrees?
Nah, in the mornings it's been like 41. That's kind of cold. I had to turn the heat on for the past 2 weeks.
Hey, you know what?
Tropical people, brother.
So we got a lot to talk about today on Long Distance Playbook, and we're gonna start off with our honors of the week. Hey, this week honors we have FC Barcelona won the Spanish Supercopa. Congratulations to RC Barcelona. Give them a round of applause. And we got, that's a good name. Who went? Man, Sanfu. I don't want to destroy his name. Please forgive me. There's no enunciations on how to say his name on my little paperwork here. But he wins the 2026 Brunswick Ball Masters Open. I'm assuming that's pool, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Okay. It may be bowling.
Maybe bowling. Yeah, that could be bowling. Yeah, you're right.
Sanfu Davanani, something like that.
Yeah, that's a good one there, right?
You can't hear you, Mace.
I think you made it muted, Mace.
Nope, he bounced out.
So our co-host is actually driving back from Belgium, where he was coaching high school basketball game. So he won't be locally on the show. He's on the road talking to us on the go. So he just fell off a little bit, but we're going to continue on. Y'all know what time it is. We all know what this is, right? We know it. We love it. We show it. It's the Red Carpet Report with Jeff. Let's go, Jeff.
All right, fellas. I appreciate it. Hey, for you guys online, if there's something you want to talk about a little bit more, let us know in the comment section. I'll be sure to put this in here. But for the red card report for today, first and foremost, congratulations, FC Barcelona, for winning the Spanish Supercopa. And the latest rendition of El Clasico, Barcelona beat Real Madrid 3-2. First half dominated by Barcelona, and they, deservedly took the lead in the 37th minute from a goal from Rafinha, who I believe finished third or fifth in the Ballon d'Or. Had a fantastic season last year, but so they take the lead in the 37th minute. All things going Barca's way. And then it gets into extra time in the first half. And there were 4 goals scored in a matter of 6 extra time minutes. First goal, Vinny Jr. brings the ball down the left. Jules Koundé dribbles past another defender and slots it in to tie the game 1-1. That's probably about 2 minutes into extra time. 2 minutes later, Spanish starlet Pedri knocks a through ball to Robert Lewandowski, Polish striker, and he finishes past Thibaut Courtois. And it was, it's crazy that Lewandowski's 37 years old and is still that good, still that clinical. So that puts Barcelona back up 2-1. 2 minutes later, Real Madrid has a corner. So Dean Howson rises above everybody, hits the crossbar, ball bounces back off, and Gonzalo Garcia hits a ball like off his chest, and he's falling backwards. It hits it off his foot. It hits off the crossbar and goes in. 2-2 going into halftime. So again, 3 goals, and for those that watch football, 3 goals in 6 minutes, and truthfully, it's 3 goals in 4 minutes on the clock. It was a crazy ending to the half. And then finally, in the 73rd minute, Rafinha got his brace with the second goal, a deflective shot that left Courtois stranded, and Barcelona won 3-2. And again, they pretty much dominated. They dominated possession, chances. But now there was some repercussions because of that. So Real Madrid went and terminated Xabi Alonso's contract as their manager. So we've been talking about the past couple of weeks. That's the 3rd major team that has sacked their manager. He was already under pressure, which was kind of unfair, but kind of not. When it comes to managing Real Madrid, the expectations are no higher. So, he had his winning percentage was about 70 to 71%, but he had some fallout with some of the members of the team. He started really well, right? First 14 games, he was 13-0-1, but in the last 14 games, he was 7-3-4. And some of those losses were against Man City, against Liverpool in the Champions League. He had a home defeat to Celta Vigo, which can't happen, and then got thumped in the Madrid derby, losing to Atletico Madrid 5-2. So those things didn't help him. Another thing that didn't help him is he's essentially followed 2 legends at the club. Zidane, the first one, but most recently, Carlo Ancelotti, who's won everywhere. And for my American football fans, I'll equate it to this. Do you want to be the coach that follows Bill Belichick or Mike Tomlin? That's what it is. So as good as he did, you're not that person. So they've brought in an interim caretaker, Alvaro Arbeloa, who used to be a player for them for the remainder of the year. But that's a big task to follow Carlo Ancelotti, who's won everywhere he's coached, right? He won in England with Chelsea. He won in Italy with AC Milan, both as a player and a coach. And he's won multiple times with Real Madrid. So, but then going from that, from what I'm understanding, from hearing, I would not be surprised to see Real Madrid go after Jurgen Klopp in the offseason as their next coach, since he was stepped away from Liverpool going on 2 years. You need a big name, you need a big personality, you need someone who can galvanize a bunch of alphas/divas, right? And that is a very tough job, very unforgiving, but that's the name of the game. So moving on from that, African Cup of Nations. So 3rd place game is today. Egypt will play Nigeria. That's at 11 a.m. Eastern time here, so probably in about 50 minutes for those overseas. Leading up to that, so Sadio Mane's Senegal beat Mo Salah's Egypt to qualify for the finals. So, and then host nation and favorites, which we've spoken about, Morocco, they needed pins, but they beat Nigeria in penalties. So it'll be Senegal versus Morocco. 2 of the 4 teams that I stated that I thought I wouldn't be surprised to make it to the finals. Finals is tomorrow. So tune in for that game. Moving on. So last week we talked about Manchester United letting go of Ruben Amorim as manager. And they have just signed Michael Carrick, ex-player, as their caretaker for the remainder of the season. He's cut from the Alex Ferguson cloth, right? He had really good seasons at Manchester United. He's more of a no-nonsense, do your job type. He was a no-nonsense, do your job type midfielder. and I'm assuming that his coaching approach and philosophy is going to be the same. But if you saw the game this morning, Manchester United played Manchester City. His first game in charge, Manchester Derby, and they won 2-0. First thing he did was change the formation and play forward to back instead of that 3-5-2. But they didn't try to outplay City, and that was critical to their success. So we'll see how that goes moving forward. But great result for Manchester United, and we'll see how they continue moving forward under Michael Carrick. Next, so Manchester City's abundance of riches when it comes to players continues to grow as they're on the verge of signing Mark Gahey from Crystal Palace. Gahey's out of contract this summer. He had a move to Liverpool fall apart at the trade deadline. And so now they're about to sign him for £20 million. Again, another England international center back joining one of the most talent-laden teams that we have in England. Even though you wouldn't have known it today. So the rich keep getting richer when it comes to that. They already had signed Antoine Semenyo from Bournemouth. In the past year and a half, maybe 2 years, he's probably been one of the best left wingers in the Premier League. So they're going to be a tough out. Didn't show it today, but they have so much talent on that team, and that doesn't appear to stop. I think they've spent something to the effect of £500 million from last January to this January on players. And, the Man City machine in terms of buying players and buying quality players doesn't look like it's going to slow down anytime soon. For our fans out in Germany, so Bayern Munich star Jamal Musiala is set to return from his long injury layoff. He broke his leg this summer playing in the Club World Cup. Again, young player, 22 years old, can play anywhere behind the striker, the 10, 11, and the 7. Just a quality player, unafraid to take people on. His injury looked really bad, but really glad to see him back. He's key to the German national team. He's key to their chances, in my opinion, in the World Cup this summer. And he's just a phenomenal player, phenomenal talent, phenomenal potential. Elsewhere, Oliver Glasner, manager of Crystal Palace, announced that he'll be stepping down at the end of the season. Well, this has been rumored since the beginning of the season as his contract was about to run out. So kind of no surprise since we hadn't heard anything about his contract. And apparently this was decided back in October, but because they had so many games, they're just now releasing it. So we'll see who is the next manager at Crystal Palace. Personally, I feel like that's because he was unable to keep the talented players at Crystal Palace that he wanted. With Mark Gahey leaving or about to leave, I heard that Jean Mateta, their striker, may be going to Juventus. So their top quality players are leaving the club. And so he's come out and said that basically to say, hey, I need players to make decisions on their career, knowing that I'm not going to be there. Talking about the U.S. international team, so Josh Sargent, who plays for Norwich City, has been banished to train with the U21s. Apparently, he refused to play this past weekend. Toronto FC had put in an £18 million bid for him, and he's got 3 children under 5. He wants to get back to North America. He also wants to get back on the scene to potentially make the World Cup team. He has not been a part of the U.S. Men's national team setup since September. So there's people that have passed him by. He wants a better look. He thinks by going to Toronto, that'll be the case. I think they're just negotiating price. They've been negotiating for about the past month. So we'll see what happens there. Another U.S. international, Weston McKennie, rumored to be moving again with Atletico Madrid, a couple of Premier League teams, and a couple of teams in Italy interested in him. I think it's time that he moves. He's never been appreciated at Juventus. He probably is not the type of player that they appreciate in Juventus. So hopefully his next move will be his best move. And then games for this weekend. So I already talked about the Manchester derby that already took place. Chelsea is currently hosting Brentford in the London derby. Liverpool will host Burnley, and Arsenal travel to Nottingham to take on Forest. Real Madrid did just finish their game a couple minutes ago, won 2-0. So first win for their new caretaker manager, Arbeloa, which he needed considering his first match in charge. They lost in the Spanish Cup, which to Albacete, that can't happen. So back to winning ways for them. In Germany, Bayern Munich take on Leipzig, which is 1-3. That should be a pretty decent game to watch, although Bayern Munich seems like the unstoppable object. And then Borussia Dortmund take on St. Pauli. In Italy, Inter take on Udinese, Napoli take on Sassuolo, and Cagliari host Juventus. And then Sunday, Barcelona take on Real Sociedad in their first game back from their win against Real Madrid last weekend. Atletico Madrid host they host Alaves, and then in the Premier League, Newcastle travel to play Wolves, and then Everton travel to Villa Park to take on Aston Villa. You'll see AS Roma and AC Milan in Italy. They'll take on Torino and Lecce respectively, and then in Portugal, Porto are back in action. That's the dominant team in Portugal, top of the league, and they look to continue that moving forward. So, final note, just so everyone's aware, this is, again, the mid-season transfer season, so things can get a little bit crazy when teams get desperate. You may see some players going for some crazy fees and astronomical wages, or you could see a bit of nothing. But with Man City already making a play on 2 players, Arsenal, over the past 5 years, their net income's been higher than anybody else's. So if they see something, they may go get it. And now Chelsea has been rumored to be in the transfer market. There could be a lot of players moving places to try to either sustain pushes to win the league or to make that final push. So we'll see. But that's all for the red carpet for today.
All right, thank you, Jeff, for the red carpet report. Is there any games, important games coming up this week that we probably, those who kind of dibbling down might want to check out?
Yeah. So I said, if you missed the Manchester derby, you should have watched that. Chelsea's on right now. Arsenal first in the Premier League. Play later today against Nottingham Forest. Liverpool versus Burnley. Again, Bayern Munich, when they taking on Leipzig, that's 1-3. And then Real Madrid already played, but Barcelona are in action tomorrow. So, and I also mentioned AFCON. The AFCON championship game is on Sunday as well. So that will be a good game to watch. A lot of talented players there. Sadio Mane and Senegal and the whole Moroccan team. So that'll be a good game to watch tomorrow.
All right. Thank you. Okay. It is time for the good old lightning round. So, this lightning round, we're going to talk a little bit about the NBA. Currently, the NBA is still early. The NBA really don't start playing until after the All-Star break. But there are some players of note that have been questioned to be moved this week. You got Ja Morant from the Grizzlies. We already see Trae Young get sent to what we all say the
Bullets.
the Bullets. And that, like, Luka's hurt, so he's out. Full growing. And the one good thing about it is basketball, the NBA are playing games currently in Europe. So you had your first one yesterday. I think it was yesterday or the day before. And then you got a game coming up in London between the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies playing. So we're gonna move along a little bit because we ain't, we kind of short on time. So in college basketball, it's starting to shape up. You got Arizona undefeated. You got Iowa State, which is still kind of surprising. They always had good teams, but they're still kind of surprising. And you have a still undefeated Nebraska. And that's new. That is really new. And then in women's NBA, I mean not women's NBA, but women's college basketball, we all know that you got your number 1 and 2 teams. We already know who they are, right? If you don't, let me tell you. You got UConn sitting number 1, undefeated, 17-0. Then right behind them with 1 loss, South Carolina. And then UCLA with 1 loss. Texas with 1 loss. LSU dropped down to 2. Vanderbilt, the women's team is undefeated. Interesting. Right. Now you got a few other good teams going on. I think college basketball is going to be, women's basketball is not going to be just a runaway market this year. I think it's going to have a couple little surprises for some of these top seeded teams.
I don't know. I think you got your top 4 teams, and that's it. I watched the game on Wednesday, South Carolina versus Texas. That was a good game. Was it 2 versus 4? That was 2 well-coached teams, 2 teams with a bunch of talent earlier in the season. So I'll see, I'm waiting to see how they develop. But both teams came to play. I know South Carolina won. I think they won by like 3. Yeah, they won by 3, but that game came down to the wire. So, UConn's going to do what UConn does. Like that, all they do is reload. There's no retooling. They reload every year, and that is a system. That is a machine. They got talent. They got a philosophy, and they accept nothing but the best. So I think it's gonna be interesting. I think the women's Final Four, you're gonna have some big hitters there when we get to that time of the season.
Yeah, but like I said, I think it's gonna be a little bit of of course you got top 4 teams. You got UConn, UCLA, Texas, South Carolina. And not in that exact order. I'll tell you the exact order is it's UConn, South Carolina, UCLA, and Texas. Right? Those right now are the teams that look like they're just gonna be punishing. But in college, in any sport, you can still lose if you ain't coming out there on your A game. So now, this is not normal, but since our resident co-host is on the road, I would like him to tell us about how his young high school basketball team did this weekend.
Oh, okay. Well, we won Friday and we won today. We played Shape. So
Shape.
Yeah.
And where's Shape?
Improvements from last year.
Where's Shape from?
Mons, Belgium.
Okay.
That's where I'm currently on my way back from.
And in the NHL, because I'm kind of lagging a little bit. I'm trying to hold back certain things because I know we're going to talk a minute on that. NHL is in full swing. They are almost into their All-Star weekend, which is also like the NBA. That's when things start to get a little hot and heavy, right? Right now, it's pretty much your top seeded teams are all close to each other. So it looks a little even. You know, my Blues, we having some problems right now. You know, we ain't in last, but we ain't in first.
Oh, your Blues giving you the blues. I got you.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
the
So
defending champs are having problems too.
yeah,
The Florida
But
Panthers, the defending champs, they're having problems this season.
but the reality is this: as soon as for NHL teams, all you got to do is make the playoffs. Once you make those playoffs, those rankings don't mean anything.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if
Hey,
you're 1, if you're 8. It does not matter.
it's about
hey,
how
Jeff.
hot you get.
Hey, Jeff, your Tampa Bay Lightning,
Yeah, look,
they just ended an 11-game,
I
11 game.
need them to be bad. Tickets are a
Hey,
lot less expensive when they're bad.
look, I ain't want to say nothing. I ain't want to say that, but the Blues ended that streak. Just so you know. Yeah.
Man, I don't. Look, I thank you because you know we used to get season tickets from my company, and then they became good. Tickets ain't cheap now.
Right.
In Colorado, it's been pretty hot too. They're like 33-5, something like that. So
Yeah.
you got some of these teams that are a little too early.
Well, so Jay, for the last 2 seasons, it's been Colorado and Florida in the finals. But with the way Florida's playing, I got it. Everybody can turn around. All they got to do is make playoffs. But at some point in time, you have to turn it around. Because if you don't, your season's going to slip away from you.
Yeah. That is true. And so now we on to that biggie, that big stuff. Time to talk a little bit NFL before we get to the playoffs tonight. You know, that's going to be at the back end of the show, just so y'all know. But we had some
Chris, what
very
happened this
big
week in the
things.
NFL?
I'm about to say, you cut me off. I'm about to say, Mr. John Harbaugh signed with the New York Giants. You know, that's one. Mike Tomlin stepping down from Pittsburgh. That was big. That's really big because now they're in the coaching market. I wonder if they had already started their process before they mutually parted ways.
Nah,
Brian Flores has been talked about going to Pittsburgh. So
why? Why would they do
that?
That would make
that would
zero
be very
sense.
dangerous.
But see, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Because from a character's perspective, Tomlin is very similar to Brian Flores from a character makeup. But you know, Pittsburgh way, when they're really at it, they run that 3-4 defense. Flores does the same. If anyone has paid attention to Pittsburgh, and this is since 2019, and I actually have a list of, because I was looking at it. Since 2019, here are the quarterbacks that Tomlin has had to deal with. Ben Roethlisberger in his final years, his last 2 years, he was trash. Mason Rudolph, Duck Hodges, Mitch Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, and then this year, Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry. I don't care. You could put Bill Belichick in his prime. You can pick Jimmy Johnson in his prime. With those quarterbacks in a quarterback-driven league, the NFL is a quarterback-driven league. You're not winning. And so,
all it takes is one quarterback to change it all around.
But okay, so I'm going to say this, right? I agree with you 100%. It is a quarterback-driven league, but you're not going to always find the great quarterback to guide you in free agency. And 9 times out of 10, you're not going to have it the first year coming out of the draft.
Right, but we're talking 7 years of, and those people I listed right there, they're not even top 20 quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah,
I'm not asking for a top 5, but that's not even top 20 quarterback performance. So, you know, they were asking him to make lemonade, and they ain't even giving lemons to do that with. So I'm
now, Jeff, I'm gonna have to, I might disagree with you on that because Tomlin's been there 18 years, right?
19, I think. But go ahead.
All right. How many championships did he?
He's got 1 Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He froze up.
I think we lost him for a second.
Yeah.
So
he's there. He's back.
there he is.
So they brought him one championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In 19 years. Well, I mean, that's good that he brought him a championship, but Pittsburgh's mindset is different. They want to win, right?
He did win.
New England
Never had a
all
losing
those
record.
years, didn't help
So
Mike Tomlin's
he did
case.
win.
So
That's a good. Now
we'll
the
talk
bad part
this
about
offline.
that.
It's
Now,
not
go ahead.
Cincinnati. It's not Cleveland. They're not.
Now the bad part about that statement right there, you're right. He hasn't had a losing season in his whole career. Right? So, but when you can't cross that hump in the playoffs,
I'm not saying they shouldn't go in a different direction. And I'm glad that he decided to go this year because next year would have been drama because that was the last year of his contract. So that would have caused, are they going to re-sign Tomlin and blah, blah, blah. The thing is, when you see all the shots being taken at him and all the lack of gratitude from that fan base, fire Tomlin, all stuff like that, that was crazy, right? For someone who has been a fantastic coach, a fantastic representative. A fantastic representative for the Steelers organization. One, I thought he deserved a little bit more respect than that. But for two, where's the culpability from the GM? That was his quarterbacks for the past 7 years. The fact that he didn't have a losing record, the fact that he was able to make the playoffs with that quarterback play, because that's terrible. Jay, you probably throw better than half of those guys I just mentioned. One of the guys I haven't even heard of before. What was it? The name that I just wrote? I've never even heard of my man. What's it? Duck Hodges. Who? Duck Hodges?
Come
on.
I'm going to give a Justin Fields shout out for this, right? They should have re-signed him in Pittsburgh. Even though they were planning on bringing in Aaron Rodgers. Because you know what? I thought, like I said, even when he was in Chicago, he didn't have the right offensive coordinator. He goes to Pittsburgh. He didn't have a losing record in Pittsburgh.
Wait, who are you talking about? Justin Fields?
Yes.
Oh, no. He ain't.
He didn't.
No. What I'm saying was, to me, he was damaged goods. Any quarterback that gets hit as many times as he did in Chicago,
I know one.
That's a reclamation project, man. That's
Matthew Stafford.
Look, exactly. Matter of fact, I know two, and they both in the playoffs right now.
Exception, not the rule. Which car was it? Which car was it? It wasn't David Carr. No.
Yeah, Derek Carr.
Derek Carr.
No, David Carr.
David Carr, the one the Texans selected.
Yeah.
Both cars.
That was David Carr.
He got murdered. He would have, in my opinion, he would have been good, but
he was gunshot
that many times, man.
He was gunshot.
So
I give you that.
I'm just saying.
But
we will all say this is a quarterback-driven league more so now than it was a decade ago, because they ruled out the hard-hitting defense and everything else.
So
what quarterback worth anything did I just mention in the past 7 years?
I still say Justin Fields.
This is an indictment on the quarterback play itself. Anytime Phillip Rivers could come out of retirement 5 years and come in and look halfway decent, it tells you that the quarterback play in the league is not what it should be.
Wait a minute. He went over though. He went over though.
Pittsburgh Steelers and other teams can't find a decent quarterback, and it's hard to find a decent quarterback, and your team will not win the playoffs.
Is that a coach problem or a GM problem? My point remains: is that a coach problem or a GM problem?
This is the way it goes.
Actually, it's both.
GM will not blame himself, but he'll put the onus. Hey, I got you these guys. You should win with this. This is a winning team.
It's not.
If upper management believes that, the coach is going to go before.
I got it. But they spent the first round draft pick on Cody Pickett just because he's from Pittsburgh, thinking that was going to work. Him and his little small hands, and going to be trying to hold the ball in cold weather Pittsburgh. No, that was never going to work.
So who makes the decision? What did Mike Tomlin have any put in for Pickett and under these quarterbacks? Did he have any say, or was it all GM?
In Pickett, I don't think Tomlin had a thing to do with that. With Aaron Rodgers, yes. Aaron Rodgers, absolutely.
That was hometown boy.
Yeah, I know.
But the one thing I will say in Mike Tomlin's defense, you trade Pickens to Dallas.
Third round draft. Thank you.
You signed DK Metcalf, right? That would have been a whole different offense if you'd have kept both.
I agree. But who did that?
Was it the GM? Was it Tomlin?
Probably the GM.
Did Tomlin sign off on? Did he say he wanted him to go?
But here's the problem. We can't keep blaming him for what the GM's responsibilities are. No more than do we sit there and say, hey, GM, this GM never had a losing season. No. Okay. Tomlin's responsible for the coaching. The GM is responsible for the players.
Jeff, real quick, I don't think it was so much as the organization blaming Tomlin. I think he's been there 18 years. I think Pittsburgh was kind of looking at it like, we want to kind of rebuild, but we don't want to do it with a coach who's been here for 18 years.
No, I don't disagree with any of that. My thing is, and I think Tomlin made the right decision for him. I think the organization it was the fans. It was the fans that the fan base that completely turned on him and didn't give him the respect that man has commanded and acted and earned.
I disagree with you on this one because in any fan base that has won more than, say, 3 Super Bowls, they get very, very contentious about their coach. And they believe that every year they should win a Super Bowl, no matter who their head coach is.
But what's the reality, though? Because you and I both know our teams got chips. But the reality is that's not how it works in the NFL. You're not going to have a team like Dallas who wins 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. That's not those days are done. You may get someone who wins 2 in that short period of time, but that's done. It's not.
I don't believe it's done, but I think you have to get lucky. You got to have the right coach. You got to have the right quarterback and the right
contract. The quarterback on the right contract. So probably his rookie contract of the first 5 years. Because that's the only way you get the talent and the pieces and try to keep that together.
All right. Moving along. Harbaugh to New York Giants. I think that was the smartest move by Mr. Harbaugh because they're only missing a few pieces.
I think he's going to have to. I think he's going to have to win the division or at least make the playoffs either next year or the year after. Right? I think
I'm gonna give him 2 years.
Yep, 2 years. That's it.
So I'm halfway there with Chris on that, but I think the Falcons is a little better of a place for him to go, just from the fact that the New York media is very tough, and if he doesn't win right away, then it's a whole different ballgame. Atlanta has never won a championship.
The reason why I say that is, out of all the teams that were looking for a new coach, that was, to me, this is my opinion, that was the team with the most pieces on both sides of the ball. The defenses are good. The offense is young. They just need to heal and get a few more pieces for Jackson Dart. I can honestly see them, and I'm actually being kind of funny. I can see them drafting Love out of Notre Dame to pair with Scatterboot.
Yeah, well, that's assuming
GM.
that Scatterboot's
Who's a
going to come
GM?
back.
Who's the GM of the Giants?
I wish it was me, because you're gonna pay. I'm tell you right now, you're gonna pay regardless, because you got to remember, you're gonna have two of your main players expiring contracts in the same year, plus Malik Neighbors. Who do you pay? So right now, you just gave John Harbaugh a team that has a good defense, right? And he just got to get the right coordinator to run that offense. Think about that. Mike McDaniel. Everybody hates him in Miami.
I'm not saying that this is that
The
wasn't
Falcons
a good situation. Good.
Top 5. Go ahead.
I'm not saying I would say Falcons would have been better because of I think I like the talent on the roster a little bit more, especially from a defensive perspective. But I
Falcons
also
are one injury away.
Hold on. I also like the division they play on better than the NFC.
Oh yes, the division.
I like the division.
Okay, I give you that.
That thing, give me that division at any day of the week.
Woo!
But look, here's one thing I will say about the Falcons. They're one injury away on offense to be the number 1 pick. Think about that.
Yeah. Well, to me, that comes down to the OC, though. They overuse Bijan, in my opinion.
But you still have London. If they re-signed, Pitts finally showed out.
And Pitts, right?
Finally got Pitts.
But it's like they can't get London and Pitts to both ball out in the same game. But when London was out, Pitts was, man, that game against Tampa Bay, crazy. Three touches, man. Here's
the bad news for Pitts, right? Guess what? He's a free agent.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do, Atlanta? Mason, what you got?
That's for you, Mace. Yeah, you keep looking away.
I'm sorry, I'm driving. My signal's going in and out. Y'all.
It's all good, man. We're just messing with you.
So Chris,
go ahead.
For y'all. There's 8 coaching spots like out there right now.
Yep.
But besides Atlanta, if they would give you unlimited power and money,
Baltimore.
Which one of these jobs would you?
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Want to know why? It's a quarterback-driven league, and I know I got a quarterback there.
And I got a running back.
But what about your running back? What about your receiver play? You just haven't had it there.
No, you got to remember, he never had it even when they were winning. Their receivers are secondary to their tight ends.
To the tight ends.
They live off the tight ends.
Yep.
In the passing game. But here's the thing. I got a dominant running back in Derrick Henry, right? And he didn't see no more than, 200 carries this year? Bro, that's not enough.
It's not enough. I've been saying
that's not enough.
Did they sabotage John Harbaugh? Sabotaged?
No, I think I think what it was is Harbaugh was being loyal to his coordinators.
Yep.
Because they asked him to fire them.
Look, it's the same thing that got, in my opinion, that has tripped up Mike Tomlin. He's loyal to a fault when it came to his coordinators. And he was stubborn and did not let them go
when he should
early
have.
enough. Yes,
When
1,000%.
he should have.
So
And like, here's another one, right? Out of all the teams that are looking for coaches, right? Which team is in the worst predicament, personnel wise?
Tennessee.
No,
I don't think so.
I think Cleveland.
I don't think so. No.
Hey, no. Look, hey,
I think it's Arizona.
All right.
I think it's Arizona.
They have talent there in Arizona.
They have a big question at quarterback.
And half these teams on the list that got their coaches fired have the same issue.
But no, think about it. I think Kyler Murray was not hurt. But they kept him on IR to what? Get him ready to be traded.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Hey, Jay, real quick, I'd have to disagree with that comment, right? Because Lamar Jackson, he's not going anywhere out of Baltimore. Shadur Sanders or Gillian Gabriel, they're not going anywhere out of Cleveland.
Well, you got
Cam Ward's not going anywhere out of Tennessee.
I'm gonna say they're unproven. I mean,
well, I'm gonna say this. About Cleveland.
Lamar Jackson's unproven.
Not Jackson. I'm talking about Cleveland. Those guys are unproven.
I'm gonna say this about Cleveland.
Go ahead, Chris.
Whoever comes in to take over that offense, if they don't want that quarterback, they're going to get rid of him, and they're going to draft. You're going to find out what that looks like this coming up draft. Do they draft another quarterback and then try to get rid of those? Or do they try to work those two, build an offense around those two to go with that dominating defense?
Yeah, see, for me, Cleveland, in terms of, I like what Cleveland did in the last draft, right? I like Judkins, Fanning, and then you have a 5th-round draft pick in Shador. For me, they have talent. They drafted well last year. They got talent at, in my opinion, the quarterback position, the running back position, and tight end. They need wide receiver depth. They need a wide receiver one.
Yep.
They need some offensive linemen. And then let that defense do what that defense does.
Those were a lot of needs.
Now look. So rumor has it, Waddle was actually being dangled out there from to be drafted, but they didn't want. It was something about the pick. Now you're not going to get that pick because guess what? We already through the season. So you had an opportunity to double down on something. Now you might not get nothing. You don't know which Tariq Hill you're going to get back. You're going to get the cheetah, or you're going to get the broken, or you're going to get the broken Oldsmobile.
He's going to be he's going to get cut.
He don't want to play there.
He's going to be. He said the past 2 years he doesn't want to be there. He's going to be a salary cap casualty. He's going to get gone.
See what I'm saying? So in the same instance, right? When you look at it, does the Cardinals have the talent? They do. But their first problem is the quarterback. What they're going to do about it?
Like 16 other teams.
That's being generous too.
And the bad part is, this coming up draft. This is not a quarterback's market.
If you're the Raiders,
I'm actually amazed. I'm actually amazed that Dante Moore went back to college.
Oh, I think
because he would have got paid, but I know he went back to college to stay out of New York. I'm just saying.
Wouldn't you? Please let me fall in someplace else. Look, man, how you go a whole season not having an interception?
And you're a defensive guy. And you're a defensive coach.
And you're a defensive guy. And but by the way, let me give you this. They did get rid of their 2 best defensive players. I'm not complaining because I got one of them in Dallas.
Well, here's
you got rid of your best corner to Indy. So
hey,
no talent.
Here's the best part of it is they got 3 first-round draft picks. They can't fail on that.
They can.
Yes, they can.
No, I'm saying if they fail on that, we know this team will never be any good.
Hold on. So here's what I'm thinking. Do they have the same GM that drafted that quarterback? Was it 2-3 years ago? Yeah,
they do.
From BYU.
Guess what? Then they're gonna do the exact same thing. They can have 32 draft picks, 32 first-round draft picks, and they would miss on more than half of them. I'm telling you.
Woody Johnson loves his GM.
That GM trash. That's why as a head coach, I would have never taken that job. I would have stayed in Detroit as defensive coordinator instead of going to take that Jets job.
See, Woody Johnson gets on there and tries to beat Jerry Jones. We have a fine team. Oh my goodness. Justin Fields is going to come in here and take the talent that we have.
Trash.
Take the East. Trash.
That's 2 wins every season when you see them on your calendar. That's 2 wins.
Oh my goodness. What if you're the Raiders? What are you guys doing if you're the owner of the Raiders? Who are you going to hire? Who are you going to be? Who's going to be your quarterback?
Well, right now, look, I would say this: if I was the owner, I would be definitely looking at a coach.
Selling the team.
Hold on. A coach with a plan. Because number one, I would bring back Geno Smith 1 more year, right? And I would still draft Mendoza, prep him for the year. Instead of throwing him out there to the Wolves, throw that doggone veteran out there and let him get beat up. And then about week 5, let's see what he got. If we ain't doing good, I make quarterback change.
Could you get a equally capable quarterback for less than you're going to have to pay Geno in order to do that?
Well, Geno's under contract.
I get it, but you could potentially release him and get a capable quarterback to take you through your first bye week.
They got Gardner Minshew. If they cut him, they'll let Minshew do whatever he does.
No, they don't have Gardner Minshew. Minshew is in Kansas City.
He's in Kansas City. He tore his knee up the game after Patrick Mahomes.
The first game he started.
It's Pickett then, right? Kenny Pickett's
first quarter.
It's Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett.
Okay.
I wouldn't trust. Look, now that I wouldn't trust. I wouldn't trust Kenny Pickett.
I wouldn't either. I need a vet. Look, even truthfully, even someone like a Joe Flacco. I only need you.
Man, let Grandpa retire.
I know, but listen to it from this perspective. I only want you to start for less than half the season. What I need you to do is hold everyone accountable on the offense, but I really need you to be in this young guy's ear to teach him the idiosyncrasies on how to run an NFL offense. That's what I want. I want someone who's going to be able to teach more so than anything else.
If you could get Jacoby Brissett, would you bring Brissett in
I would.
to do that?
I would. I like Jacoby Brissett, to be honest with you.
But I don't think Arizona's going to let Jacoby Brissett go.
If I'm Arizona, I wouldn't, to be honest with you.
And look,
if you got a quarterback.
You got a quarterback. You know, honestly, in that situation, I'd rather, if I was Arizona, and if I'm going to get rid of Kyler Murray, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to draft me a quarterback. I'm going to groom him. If he ain't cutting it in training camp, what is it called, OJT, right? I already know I'm going to set that 5 weeks to like 8, okay? And that 8th week, then I'm gonna do some reassessing. So number one, I would rather have Brissett starting in Arizona with the offense that he can function and do what he does best. That's the one difference. That's why everybody's beating up Geno Smith. But you got to remember, they put him in Chip Kelly's offense. Everything he was doing was trying to go deep.
But the reason why I don't like the Raiders job is because you have a running back that's making, in my opinion, that's probably making too much money. Like, I don't want to spend the first round draft pick on a running back on Genty, in my opinion.
Okay.
So that's what I don't like. You got Crosby, who's going to be 28, 29, who wants big money. And
Bowers.
I love their tight end. Bowers is a beast. But if I'm the Raiders, I'm bringing in a younger head coach because I'm bringing in probably Mendoza, right? What? I need to bring in somebody who's going to be able to grow with the team because this is going to be, I've got a young quarterback, right? I want someone who's going to be able to grow and develop with the team. I'm not saying someone who's never been a coach before. Nah. I think they need to have been a coach before, but I can't. What you can do? Bring Pete Carroll in at 73 years old? No,
you need a head coach that's older than Pete Carroll.
Oh my
watch
gracious.
Well, on that note, we're gonna take a small commercial break, and then we're gonna come back. We're gonna talk some NCAA football playoffs. We'll be right back. We are back. If you would like to be a part on this great, great, great sports talk show, Own Your Own Business, or you're a veteran-owned business and you would like the opportunity to advertise on our show, you can hit us up at the long distance playbook at gmail.com that you see on the screen. Now, let's get back to it. It is time to talk NCAA football. And we are
Yes,
down
sir.
to the final two. The final two. And on this show, we are down to the final two on the season pickets. So I'm gonna bring up that real quick. What we looking at here, Mr. J? Can you tell me?
I'm looking on the screen. You're beneath me, but on your screen, you are above me. So you're up by one game. You got me by one.
So that tells
So you
us
got
what?
one game, Jay?
I got a one game lead going into the Natty.
Yes.
This could be I win, I take all. You win, you need help.
Wait. Did y'all give your picks to Mace?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
I do have them.
So I'm going to turn the floor over to the man in the car so he can tell us what those picks are. Since Jay was scared that I might influence his pick, we had to do a secret balloting.
No hanging chad.
Hey, tell them what the secret ballot was.
Tell him what.
All
Me?
right, so Chris picked his point spread, and then Jay picked his point spread. And I like the point spread. However, Chris, can I get a drum roll?
He picked my team.
Huh? So both of y'all picked Indiana.
There it is.
Well, we have a new champion.
That's funny.
We have a new
Absolutely.
champion by default.
Chris said, "The champ is here."
Yeah.
No matter what happens, Chris, you win.
Hey, Jay. Hey, who's your daddy?
Ooh, wow. That's where we went? Whoo, boy.
Hey,
Man.
So I'll be honest, Jay, I'm really surprised that you went against Miami as far as they've made it and as much as you was boosting them up all season.
Well, you got to look at some of the teams. I mean, I think they're better than what they were, but it was good. Some of the teams that they've been playing against, I just had them a little bit better. But everybody was just talking about how bad Miami was going to be with Beck because of his past with Georgia, and I just thought that he could get them to the Elite Eight at least. But once you got to those better teams, I just thought that it was going to be the end of the run for Miami.
So I'm not gonna lie. I was leaning towards Miami a little bit, only because of the defense. I think the game, and you would see it even in my points. The game, I don't think was going to be a very high scoring game. And I think Miami defense, if they was to hold my Indiana at home, I think they could do it. If this is a high scoring game, they're not going to win. No chance.
See, I had a high scoring game.
So Chris said 44 points and Jay said 54 points. Total. So That just lets the fans know their mindset on this game.
I just think Indiana is just one of those teams that I'm not sure what the coach did illegally.
Wow. Wow.
His players, I ain't never seen nothing like this. Where you're just, in those movies they have like fake schools like Eastern University or whatever, and there was like ECU, they're going to play against Florida State. That's basically Indiana, where they make up some school to come beat the powerhouses. You just don't see this a lot.
Now, look. Now, here's the funny part, guys. Now, watch Miami go and win this game. That could be, that could be a whole different game.
Would anyone be shocked if they did, though?
No, I think they're actually. I think they're very equally matched. They both can play offense. They both got weapons on offense, right? And I'm not talking like one or two players. Both on offense got at least three.
See, I don't think they're equally matched. I think this is like a boxing fight where styles makes fight. You have, in my opinion, Indiana's probably the best coached team in the nation. You don't see a lot of penalties coming from them, offsides, false starts, illegal formation, anything like that. And I think a lot of that goes to the fact that their average age on their team, on their roster, is 23. Right? You got a bunch of older, more mature 2-3 stars who have developed into 4 or 5 star players at the end of their career. Whereas Miami has speed that Indiana probably hasn't seen before. And I think they have some strength that Indiana hasn't seen before. I'm going to be looking at the trenches. I need to see how Bain and what's the other end? Morkai? Or I forget his name. I want to see how Indiana's offensive line holds up against them, because those two are monsters, right? And if Indiana's offensive line big, but I want to see how they hold up. If they can hold up against that rush that Miami brings in, it could be a long game. Because I said this last week to a friend of mine, this game is the game that Beck, he can't be a game manager. Like, if Beck does not throw, in my opinion, if Beck does not throw for over 250, Miami loses. He's got to get the ball in their playmakers' hands and let them do work out in space. If he's unable to do that, because you don't see a bunch of busted plays on Indiana's defense. You see, and you don't know a bunch of names on their defense. You just know this team is well coached. They don't miss tackles. They close on the ball quickly. They don't give up big plays. Beck has to get the ball to Malachi Jones and what was the other guy's name? His last Marion? Is that his name? Keelan Marion. He's got to give it to those players and let them do work. In the last game against Ole Miss, he threw one pick. He probably should have had at least 3.
Yes.
So if I'm Indiana, I want to make this game about Beck, because I don't believe that he can beat you. But in order for Miami to beat Indiana, Beck is going to have to ball out.
He's going to have to show out.
He's going to have to show out. He can't be a passenger. He can't throw for 170 yards and think they're going to win that game. I don't believe that could happen. He's going to have to throw for 250 plus. If he throws for 250 plus, the closer he is to 300, probably 4 or 5 touchdowns. Okay.
So here's another factor. Not just Beck. They got to get the balls in. They got to get the ball in Mr. Tony hand.
Yeah.
And Fletcher got to have a great game. The running back has to have a great game.
Yep.
Because
Because Fletcher's probably a running back like Indiana hasn't seen.
Yeah, he's a bruiser and he
He's
can
a
run.
bruiser and can run. Yes.
But you know, at the same time, Indiana has the same style of running back, both of them.
Both of them.
So, and then they got Surratt at wide receiver that's bigger than all their corners.
Well, they got size. They have 4 receivers over 6 foot. I think it's like 6'4", 6'2", 6'2", 6 foot.
Yeah, and Surratt is the biggest.
So, I think it's that boxer who has, I have everything. I'm a jack of all trades. I'm not flashy. It's almost like let's see, Lomachenko, right? I got everything. I'm not necessarily the flashiest, but I got offense, I got defense,
I got knockout power.
and I got knockout power, right? And you're going against someone who is not necessarily as traditional, but if you're not careful, they're gonna light your jaw up, and you're gonna be counting little birdies as you looking up into the lights. And I think Miami has that in their roster. So I'm interested to see how this one's gonna play out.
Mm-hmm. So this is our final tally of the season, right here. Technically, I can I can win one more, or I can lose one more. Jay can win one more, or Jay can lose one more. But just to keep it fair, right? We got two other, and I must give a caveat to Mr. Jeff, who did percentage-wise have the best out of all of us, right? Mason started off strong and tucked it out at the end, finished at least 5 games behind, maybe 4, depending on who he picked. So, since you know what me and Jay picked already, Jeff, who you picking for on Monday night?
I got Indiana.
You got Indiana?
Yeah, I've doubted them way too much throughout the season. And just having a chance to watch them play the last 2 games, 2 or 3 games, the team is just consistent. They seem so well coached, man. Like, I don't think I've seen a college football team this well coached in a long time. And Miami's got a little bit of what all Miami teams have.
Hey, Jeff.
Yo.
This team gives me Tim Tebow, Florida vibes.
Which team?
Indiana.
Hey, I'm just saying, from player 1 to player, how many have 73, 72?
Yep.
They are all bought in. They all seem to be marching in the same direction, which is odd. I mean, I can't name a player on the defense, and I can barely name a few on their offense. But their coach is phenomenal. They play as a team. They're all focused on the same thing. But I'm waiting. I don't want this to be a one-way game. I want to see Indiana and the consistency that they've shown game in, game out. And then I want to see Miami with some big plays come back into the game. And then I want the fourth quarter to be tight. And this is where I'm like, I need Beck to show up.
So you picked Miami. What about you?
No, I picked Indiana.
I'm sorry, you picked Indiana. I'm sorry. What about you, Mr. Mason?
I think Indiana secures their first championship.
Wow.
Well, looks like nobody's going to catch me. They're not going to pull any points. But, we're going to, talking about some other college things. Here's the key here, right? I did bring it up earlier. Dante Moore planning to stay in Oregon for one more year. This is a very important statement because last week we actually announced, prior to Dante Moore saying he's not going in the draft, right? Dylan Raiola had already signed with Oregon. So now he's already planned to be the backup in Oregon. Now,
and
can
not
that
on purpose.
not on purpose, but that's what's going to happen. So here's my one question, right? As far as this
Yep.
goes, do you think that was a smart move on Dylan Raiola, or do you think that's the new way of college football?
I think it was a premature move by Dylan Raiola, in my opinion. Why make that move before all the dust settles? Right, you running around someplace else, not even sure if you're going to have a seat. So, to me, I don't know if it was a smart move or not. I would say it was a premature move.
It could be a smart move, and the reason why I say that, he still has the eligibility. So he's going to get a red shirt year. I would red shirt him, right?
What year is he? What year is he right now?
He's a sophomore. I give him a red shirt year going next year, right? Teaching the offense. You already know Dante Moore is gone next year. He's gonna be the Heisman Trophy. What was it called?
Candidate.
Well, he's going to be he's definitely going to be a preseason candidate. Yep.
And so you're talking about a few little instances that could be positive for him. And then the next season, he already have the stats coming from Nebraska that he can win a game. He can win games. And now he's going into an offense that he can do even more. Right? So I think it could be a curse and a blessing.
I just think it's premature.
I agree.
I feel bad for Trinidad Chambliss because he did petition for another year.
He's going to court.
He's
going to court to fight that.
No, I think they gave it to him, right?
He did not get it.
No, they took it from him.
They rejected it. So now he's going to court to actually fight that.
All right. You ready, Mr. J? It is time.
Good evening, good afternoon, everyone. We have our guest of the long distance playbook for this morning. Back in the East, back in the West, we have a legendary Hall of Fame kicker from the Kansas City Chiefs that was a 2-time first All-Pro, 3-time Pro Bowler, NFL scoring leader. And at the end of his career, he led the Kansas City Chiefs all time with points.
Still do.
That's right. Still does.
And still does. That's right. We have legendary Hall of Fame kicker Nick Lowry.
Woohoo!
Let's go.
There we go.
And I will say that he is our first kicker to grace the show. We've had different positions, and he is our first kicker. And when you bring somebody that's the first time, you got to have somebody that's real intelligent, that has something up here. So,
Where?
yes, that's you, Mr. Ivy League. You went to Ivy League school. What was life like going to Ivy League school and playing football?
Well, I had a chance to go to Ohio State or Stanford, which is a great school. But I just thought, having gone to a great school called St. Albans School and Potomac School before that, my mother was in the first full class of women at Oxford. My dad was in the first group of Fulbright scholars after the war, and education was important. By the way, education not just to memorize, but to think, to be able to think critically. And Dartmouth was just going co-ed, so it was like 10-1 men to women up there in the wilderness. But It was an adjustment, but I almost went to Princeton. I got into Princeton too, but it was too predictable, and I don't like to be too predictable. But it was great. I played with Reggie Williams, who I think is the greatest Ivy League football player of all time, although I actually have the most seasons ever in the NFL by an Ivy League player. But Reggie was an unbelievable man-child. I mean, he would just destroy the other players on the other teams, and pretty bright man himself. He actually opened up the Disney sports complex. And before that, I won't go into all the things he did, but he was just an incredible person. So you got to meet some great people up at Dartmouth, a lot of camaraderie there. And but you know what? You don't want to think that you're better than anybody else. That never helps. So it was a great experience.
Okay, cool. Are you talking about Reggie Williams, the played linebacker, Reggie Williams?
Yep.
Number 57 for the Cincinnati Bengals,
Yep.
captain of the team. I think he was definitely voted one of the top 50 players, and probably much higher than that in Bengals history. He should be in their Hall of Fame now, frankly. I don't understand why he isn't. But amazing human being. So got to play for some good people. And a lot of them, Dartmouth's whole thing was about being athletes helps you become more of a team player, helps you be able to adjust. You know, in sports, it's always about adjusting and adapting and dealing with adversity and losing and winning, and managing your success is just as important. A lot of people don't know how to manage their success. So it was great to be around those people. A lot of those people ended up being very successful in what we call real life.
You know, that's always important. We definitely hear what you're saying about that. You had a great, amazing career. Can you tell us a little bit about the routine, the kicker during the week, and the things that you guys have to do to stay mentally focused?
He asked about the routine. He's asking about the routine of a kicker and the things that
your mic was a little bit blurred. The routine of the kicker. Well, that was something I had to learn. To me, my book is coming out in a month. It's called Naked Alone with 80,000 People, because you have to get used to running out there with that feeling like you're completely naked. Everybody's watching you. You either get it done or you don't. Nobody cares what your excuses are. So you have to learn how to focus. You have to learn how to prepare. And then you have to learn to be on. Doesn't matter what, every other second of every other day of your life, that 1.3 or less seconds, you have to be on and be able to focus, see the ball's moving. It's actually spinning until maybe 1/10 of a second before you kick it. And you're moving too. So everybody makes it look easy. I think if we train for one thing, we can be pretty darn good, all of us at one thing. But it's also managing that on the sidelines. You don't play like in soccer or rugby or basketball or soccer where it's much more constant. You have to just be ready to go in and kick a 50-yarder in 10-degree weather and wind, everything. So it's a big mental thing as well. You have to prepare. What I would do is I'd prepare kicking it at 8-foot wide targets so that the 18-foot wide target looked better. Because I'll tell you what, psychologically, you can kick at those beautiful goalposts in practice. You go out and look at the same goalposts during a game, and they look like twigs. You know, so you've got to learn to manage your confidence. And then, the great Pete Carroll, I'm sorry he had such a difficult year this year, but a great coach. But he absolutely emphasized preparing for the game situations. Marty Schottenheimer, my coach. Marv Levy, my coach. Tony Dungy, one of my coaches. Bruce Arians, Bill Cowher. Prepare during the week with every situation you might actually have to confront, so you're ready. You're not shocked that you have to kick a 52-yarder with the wind. Whatever happens. And at every position, that's important. But for quarterback and kicker, that's probably even more important.
Okay. So in 1980, you come on, and Kansas City has just been lucky with kickers. They had Jan Stenerud before you. How did that situation work? Was he a free agent, or did you have a kicking competition? How did you come?
I had to go head-to-head against him, and it's so funny. We look at media today and the stories, one side says this is what happened, another side says this is what happened. And the same thing is true. I had to go head to head against John Stenner, the greatest kicker in the history of the game at that point, one of the only remaining players from the Chiefs at that point, only Super Bowl champion. He had a great game in that Super Bowl, and I had to beat him out by kicking every day against him head to head. And the guy that was charting us was a guy named Clark Hunt, who was a 16-year-old ball boy, the son of Lamar Hunt. And it was, how far was it from? How quickly did he get it off, etc. And then eventually it was so close, so clear I was out kicking him that Marv told Jan and me that every kick that took more than 1.33 seconds was no good, even if it went through. And Jan didn't like that. But I've been going through 11 rejections by 8 NFL teams. A couple games with the Patriots, with Cincinnati in the preseason, with the Redskins in the preseason, and then a bunch of other tryouts. And so as I look back, it was always learn from it, get better at learning, get tougher mentally, get tougher physically, because that kind of focus that a kicker has to do, that kind of pressure, is like nothing else in sports. So I beat him out. And even to this day, people like you ask, like somehow I followed him. I kicked his butt, literally, God bless him. And I earned that role. I earned it. It was my time. And of course, he didn't like me at first a whole lot. We now love each other. He had a great relationship with my father. We went on a cruise together with his wife and my mom and dad and myself. And he said, Nick, I didn't like you at first, but then I realized I had to reset how I prepared, redouble my commitments. And if you watch his career, he went to Green Bay in Minnesota, and he had some of the best years of his career and cemented his place as the first kicker in the Hall of Fame. So I beat out the first kicker in the Hall of Fame, who had 6 more seasons in the heart of his career. And I'm proud of that.
Well, that's amazing. So over the last 20, 25 years, you've had these coaches come in and almost treat kickers like in basketball at a free throw line. Does icing the kicker really work? And what are the work on?
If you're a good kicker, it helps you. If you're a bad kicker, it hurts you. For me, it was like, that's fine. I'd run to the sidelines. I'd kick into the net. I'd keep my routine, run back out maybe 10 seconds earlier than normal, line everything up. So really, it's the kicker's capacity mentally to handle it and to have composure. And standing around in the middle of the field for a minute doesn't help. So for the most part, if you're a good kicker, if you're good in terms of this, it's going to help you. And if you're not, you'll see what happens. And it's happened a lot, enough for them to do it. I frankly think the rule should be 1 timeout. I think when they cut 2, it's going, come on, Mr. Head Coach, come on, little man, be a man here. Oh, we're going to call lots of timeouts so he can upset him. So I think it should be 1 timeout, not 2. I think that's kind of crazy.
Can I get in, Jay?
Yeah. So this is Jeff. He's our other host. He's down in Tampa, Florida. Go ahead, Jeff.
He looks like Emmitt Smith.
So I have a son, soccer player, right? And throughout growing up, a lot of kids have stopped playing soccer and they end up being kickers, right?
Okay.
So in my life, I've seen people kick soccer style. I've seen people kick straight on, kind of toe poke. And I've seen players kick barefoot. Which one is the most difficult in your opinion?
Well, it's whatever works for them. But the advantage of a soccer style kicker, I was recruited by Charlie Gogolak, who was a kicker for the Redskins and went to Princeton and it recruited me to go to Princeton. The advantage of a soccer style kicker is you can use your hip turn, and every major force generating motion in sports, you turn your hips as you hit a baseball, you turn your hips, come into it as you hit a golf ball, tennis, whatever it is, and you get that advantage. Straight on, you can kick, some can kick very far, but that straight on toe, it's just not as precise And Tom Dempsey had that special shoe, which was outlawed from everybody else, and he hit a great field goal. But that's no comparison. With barefoot, it hurts, and when it's
cold.
15 degrees. Paul McFadden, I was coaching him in one kicking camp in Akron, Ohio, and he ends up with Philadelphia and with the Giants. We're playing the Giants in Giant Stadium. I think it was like 92, and it was really cold. And I looked at his bare foot, and he had a frozen blood on his foot like this. I'm like, okay, that must be fun. What it does do in warm weather, theoretically, it can give you a little bit more of a feel for it. But overall, I like the shoe, and I actually would wear an extra small pair of shoes with 3 to 4 pairs of socks to make it really, really, really tight,
right,
so that it hit the ball really, solidly. So I think the proof is in the pudding. There are almost no barefoot kickers anymore.
So
and no straight on.
So to go from that, you mentioned where other sports, how people are generating power, whether you're a baseball hitter, whether it's golf, whether boxer, all that. So do you think that's the reason why you see more kickers making 50, 60 plus yard field goals in this day and age?
No, absolutely not.
So
the reason is very clearly, and Jan actually noticed this about 10, 12 years ago, they started breaking in the football. So they used to come to the game as straight out of the box. So if you ever played baseball, you guys ever play baseball? And you're new,
Yes.
You have a new baseball mitt and you can't catch anything. You got to put linseed oil, you got to wear it in. And the football, when it's broken in, makes a huge difference. But then on top of that, in the last couple of years, I think it's really this year, they're allowing kickers to use a ball that they kick in practice for 3 weeks. So here's your science. The foot connects to the football for 4,000th of a second when it comes through. If that football is a little bit more pliant and your foot can kind of get into it for 1/2,000th of a second, 1/2,000th of a second, it doesn't sound like anything. That's 12.5% more power. That's 8 to 9 yards more power.
Wow.
And that's what's happening. It's so funny how these knucklehead sports guys never go into it. It's like, wait a minute, I seem to remember they made a big deal out of Tom Brady and Deflategate, even though anybody that drives in cold weather, after filling their tires with air in warm weather, the concentration, the pressure goes down. And, baseball, they made a big deal out of juiced baseballs. I don't understand why they don't mention.
Same concept, right?
We're doing. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, imagine any other position where the improvement was that significant. So yes, kickers are better, but I would have been doing pretty well. I had 3 out of 57, 58, and 58 and 40 years ago, 1985, already in my career. At that point, 3 of the 5 longest in the NFL history. And I've got a video. I wish I could share it with you, but if you look it up, it's Nick Lowry 5 field goals, Raiders, Monday night. And it's Thursday night. O.J. Simpson's on the sidelines and you can hear him commenting. And then you've got the usual crew up in the booth and, Frank Gifford, et cetera. And I hit one from just about midfield, halfway up the net. And that was with the real balls, the balls that hadn't been broken in. So I would have loved to have had a chance to kick with these balls. It's just ridiculous. All these guys are hitting 50 yarders like they used to hit,
30 yarders, right?
35 yarders, yeah.
Yep. So, what advice you do? Motivational speaking now, right?
Yeah, I mean, I like to think it's motivational in the sense that every one of us, if we align our values and our purpose, God's gifts in us, we are motivated, but I hope to think it's a bit deeper than just, hey, I'm excited, I'm going to get it done. It's really knowing yourself and knowing what you're here for, and makes a big difference.
So I guess my question is, what would you recommend to younger kickers, whether in high school and college? One, to bring them to the next level, and the second part, you kind of mentioned this earlier. How would you coach them or teach them or speak to them to have the emotional resiliency that they need as a kicker? Because when you come out there, like you said, in front of 80,000 people, and it doesn't matter how long you've been sitting dormant, the expectation is that you're going to make it.
You gotta be ready.
And some people can take that and some people don't. So what would you say to young kickers?
Well, like my coach Dick Johnson said to me, the mental side of the game for every position, but particularly for a kicking position, is the most important part. You can hit 100 field goals in a row in practice, and then you go into a game, and the kicker for San Diego had hit like 99 out of 101, or maybe even all of them, a ridiculous percentage inside 50. And then in one game a couple of weeks ago, he missed 2. Yeah. It weren't very far. It just happens. Part of it is that we're human. But I would say do your work on confidence. Work on confidence. Do everything with confidence. Marcus Allen, act as if you've been there before. The players today, by the way, at any position, I always joke about the Dallas Cowboys. They go crazy because they made a big tackle. You know what? It's the first quarter, dumbass. Go back, start Mike. But, it's the first
Can
quarter.
Can you please go tell them that?
You're paid millions, and the game ain't over,
right.
So with the pattern you notice with Dallas and with a lot of players in general, they're immature and managing their state. They'll have a great one game. They'll be the best ever. But they almost never have 2 outstanding games in a row. And all teams have trouble putting together 4 quarters in a row. I think with young kickers, I'd say practice things that help you as an athlete. So believe it or not, ballet, martial arts, everything that helps you with balance and with focus, control. And then you don't worry about having to kill the ball because you've got so much control. I took ballet twice a week before my junior year in college. And then after doing ballet with other players, I always used to say I was a hippopotamus before the ballet, and I was a hippopotamus after the ballet. But I was a graceful hippopotamus.
There you go.
And I would go out after that and kick. That season, I was one of the first, if not the first kicker to not miss a single field goal or extra point the entire season. So those things that help you, because it's always this combination of balance, right, and focus, preparation, and then give yourself situations so you're ready for the pressure situations. And remember that essentially you are the expert on handling pressure. That's your job as a kicker. Yeah, the quarterback, absolutely. But the quarterback has 4 downs. You've got 1.
So I have a question. It's a 2-part question, kind of.
Where you from?
I'm from St. Louis. So
Germany. You're in Germany. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm in Germany right now.
Where are you in Germany?
I am right outside of Frankfurt.
I was born in Munich, and my dad was stationed for the CIA in Frankfurt before he moved to Munich, and then I lived in Bonn, Germany. We lived in Bonn, Germany from 67 to 69, right on the Rhine River. So, and then we played the first game ever in Germany 8 months after the wall came down in Berlin in the old Olympic Stadium.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Amazing.
So here's my 2-part question. What was it like? What was your favorite stadium to kick in? And what was it like kicking in Denver?
Favorite stadium? New Orleans, opening game, 85 season. I hit a 52-yarder, 48-yarder, all of them over the net, 52-yarder. So almost 3 50-yarders in the first quarter. And
you said over the net?
All in the first 20 minutes of the game. And we beat the Saints. That was 1985 opening game. And it just was so easy because flat field, no wind. So I'd say probably that, but I never got to play in it again. My friend Morton Anderson had that. He had 20 seasons indoors, and you question yourself when you miss a kick. And anyway, I'm proud of the fact that I played, all 18 seasons in a windy stadium and had a better percentage than all of them. And now Denver, you want to hear a Denver story? Okay. First of all, Denver, it took me about 3 games to realize the Denver field was a little bit softer, grass was a little bit longer, and when you have 5,200 feet of altitude, it's a thinner atmosphere, so the ball won't hook as much because it's not grabbing the football. And so I realized I had to start. I had one miss barely outside the right upright in a game. It really upset me. And so I just said, from now on, I'm going to aim 5 feet farther to the left. So basically about halfway in between the 18, so that would have been a 9, so 4.5, yeah. So on the left side, and I never missed in Denver again. So in the end, I did okay. And initially, yeah, the ball goes farther, and that's great. But they had a guy named John Elway, and he had a way of beating us in Denver.
He was okay. He was okay of a player, right?
He was okay. We did okay against him. We did okay against him in Arrowhead.
There you go.
I'm sorry, guys. I forgot to tell you the story. So it's the opening game of the 88 season. And when you've been thinking the whole off season about how you're going to start making a great season the next season, you want to get off to a good start. So we're in Denver, and there's a guy, your kicking net is, you have 2 kicking nets. One is at the 32-yard line on the right side. The other is at the 32-yard line on the left side, just outside where the player's section is. That's where you can kick into the net. So the people in the stands know that's where the kickers are going to be hanging out. And this one guy was just being merciless, saying all sorts of
fun stuff,
inappropriate things.
Yeah.
And you got to ignore him, right? Just stay in the game. But now we're in the second half, haven't tried anything. This guy's going on and on. And that was the old Mile High Stadium. And the stands came right near us. Now there's about an extra 20 feet. The stands, and then there's a 5-foot fence. So I finally said, look around at the guy, and he's eating popcorn, the one that's been bothering me the whole game. And I violated all my rules and looked at him, and I pointed at the popcorn and said, can I have some? He runs down, gives me some popcorn over the fence. I go out and hit a 43-yarder, nail it, come back. Now he's giving me a thumbs up, and he's my best buddy.
There you go.
Interesting psychology of it.
What's popcorn amongst friends?
Exactly. I'm guessing you're from Denver.
Not me. Mm-mm.
No. So I'll ask you this last one. Is it harder for you to sit or stand around all game and have to make a crucial kick in the fourth quarter, or kick once or twice early in the game and then have to kick the winning field goal at the end?
Oh, well, I mean, it's obviously harder if you haven't touched the field, done anything. When you have a great offense. My friend Harrison Butker, who's now the kicker and had a couple missed extra points early this year, but ended up having a very good season, really. But when we had a tremendous offense with Tariq Hill 3, 4, 5 years ago, and he was getting on the field all the time, you're in the flow of the game. So, of course, it helps because you're feeling for the field itself, the sidelines when it's really cold late in the season, right? And you're in the playoffs. The sideline is much harder and colder than the middle of the field. So your cleats grab the turf differently. And of course, if it's artificial turf, that's different. But so it really helps every time you get on the field, helps you have a feel for it. Plus the wind is different in the middle of the field than on the side. So, and in Arrowhead, that made a difference. I'd run out during timeouts and check out the wind. Harrison does that. We had an offensive line coach who was a classic football, gruff football guy. And I'm running out, and, standing there just checking out the wind. He goes, "What are you doing out there? Get back over." I said, "You know what? You do your job. I'll do mine."
There you go.
But that's what you do. You do whatever you have to do your job. And I didn't care if I was getting problems from an offensive line coach or whatever. You got to be tough enough to not let people distract you, bother you, take you off your game, and that takes experience. That takes preparation. I mean, literally during the week, what kind of situation am I going to be in if we're playing on the road? What's the weather going to be like? What's the situation? And the more you're like an actor rehearsing, the more you can stay within yourself and do what you know.
Yes, sir. All right, Chris.
Who's the man driving the car? We've got a great view of his right knee.
Yeah, he's driving back from Mons, Belgium, back to this area in Germany where I'm at in Frankfurt. He was coaching a basketball game. He's one of our co-hosts, Mr. David Mason. So
Hi, Dave.
That's who he is, and that's why he's.
Hello, Mr. Lowry.
How you doing? Yeah, I have to tell you, the thing that kept us safe, the amazing sports programs. I mean, Bonn, we ended up being number 2 in Europe in the Little League. We played tons of basketball. And so we're traveling to Ramstein and Hanau and Frankfurt and Wiesbaden, all those places. And I think that was good for us. I really do. The camaraderie itself. And we were just a tiny little, really the diplomatic corps were in Bonn. But we did okay.
Okay.
All right, Chris, you got.
Well, I'm good on my question. Everybody got their questions in?
Yes, absolutely.
Sir, have you been watching the NFL playoffs lately?
Real quick for coming on the show.
Come on the show.
So, I have a question. Have you been watching the NFL playoffs lately?
Well, they've been just going on for 1 week, but yeah, I'll tell you, the games are great. It's just incredible to watch Chicago and the transition from a year ago. Frankly, I think the Chiefs made a huge mistake by letting go of Joe Thuney, because look at Chicago was sacked 65, 67 times last year, and now they're in the top 5 and protecting the quarterback. Plus, the quarterback's really a good athlete and strong legs and can avoid getting tackled. So that's amazing to me, is to see Chicago. But all the games are good. Obviously, New England, my God, Drake May, what a stud he is. I mean, it's hard to believe that you could find somebody that people would go, he's kind of like Tom Brady, but his accuracy for long passes is among the best I've ever seen. Then you've got Bo Nix with great coaching. Denver's really good. And then you've got Seattle. I mean, all these teams out of nowhere in 1 year have transformed. Unfortunately, my Jets, I played 14 years with Kansas City. My last 3 with the Jets. It's still like the Jets have a black cloud, some sort of Native American curse on them or something, because and the Giants too. But amazing. The teams and almost all the games have been phenomenal, right down to the wire. So
right down to the wire.
There's no doubt why the NFL is 4 times more popular than baseball or basketball. It's just there's so many things to love.
Right. So we at this part of the show we start picking our playoff games, and we were wondering if you wanted to participate.
I don't know if I can help, but I will certainly try.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna post up the playoff picture right now. This is what it's looking like, So we got some very nice games this week.
Yeah, I mean, I love the 49ers. I love Brock Purdy. His coach through high school was a guy named Dan Minucci, who's a friend of mine. I do some radio shows with him, and Brock's great, but I just think it's hard to beat Seattle in Seattle. I mean, as much as I think it'll be a good game, but I'm going to go with the Seahawks. Rams, God, I love the Rams. And I think the Bears are going to make it a good game. And a lot of people have good reason to pick the Bears, but I just think the Rams are pretty special, and they've got the right quarterback. You got a great coach, as the Bears do too. But experience means a lot, and so especially playoff experience. So I'm going to go with the Rams with that one. Bills and Broncos, I got to go with, once again, experience. That's a tough one. I'm probably going to go with the Broncos just because, again, it's at home. But that'll be a tough game as well. And then, I mean, isn't it great? Every one of these games is incredible. I'm going to pick an upset. I think the Texans are going to beat the Patriots because their defense is lights out. I was there when they beat the Chiefs, and they are just really well coached. So, the funny thing is, you have a good argument for all the opposite teams winning in these games. But those are my picks.
Okay. Well, right now we're going to give you an opportunity. I know you said earlier you got a book coming out. Could you please share that with us, please, sir?
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's called Naked Alone with 80,000 People. If you go to Nick Lowry, www.nicklowrybook.com, there's a lot of information about it. I'm in the last phase where I'm actually doing some interviews with Christian Okoye and Steve Fuller, who is my holder and our quarterback in the early 80s. And, just some of the players back then and some of the memories we have with the crazy coaches and players. We had some crazy ones, just to add a little bit more anecdotes to it. But it's a book about certainly football, but it's also about all of us can find greatness in our lives, can find purpose. And it really means connecting to God's unique gifts in us and following through and being persistent. And I will say this, this is an example of what the book's about. So I beat out Jan Stenerud. I'm featured in 2020 on a thing on Kickers, that my second season, a feature article in Sports Illustrated, go to the Pro Bowl. Amazing game, 17 Hall of Famers, Earl Campbell and Dan Fouts and you name it, Jack Lambert. And it's a tight game. It's 13-13 late in the game. We're driving the last 2 minutes. And back then it was a real game. I mean, people really did play. Ted Hendricks was another guy on the team. And just I'd gotten to know Jack Lambert because he used to hang out at the country music bar at the Hilton Hawaiian Village during the week. And he'd have a couple of drinks and then the country band would challenge him to sing, and he actually sang pretty well. So he comes up to me with 2 minutes left. He goes, and remember, he had no teeth during the game. He'd take out his teeth. So it made him look even scarier. And he goes, "Rookie," and I wasn't a rookie, but I was young. He goes, "I love you. We make $5,000 if you make this kick. $2,500, no, or I'll rip your fucking head off."
There you go.
And I made it. In fact, if you Google Nick Lowry Hall of Fame video, about halfway through that video is me kicking the game-winning field goal in that game. And I didn't realize, because Jack was the left wing on the field goal protection team, he turns, sees it goes through, runs over and hugs me, and holds on to me for about 2 minutes. And the whole team runs on the field. It's really kind of cool. So I go to the locker room. This is the main point of this. Go to the locker room, and there are 10 TV cameras, and as the locker room emptied out, I just kind of felt like, well, what do I do now? What do I do now? How do I celebrate this? And I realized I hadn't brought my parents, my best friends, the people that had always been there for me. And I just said, if I ever make it again, I'm not going to have this feeling again. I'm going to, bring everybody that's really been there, that had my back, et cetera. And I kicked 2 more game-winning field goals in the Pro Bowl in 91 and 93. And my mom and dad were in the front row. I had dinner with my brother Chris, who's just passed 4 years ago, and Lamar Hunt and Derek Thomas and all those guys. And those are the great memories in life. So many people break through, they work their tails off, they sacrifice, they go through a lot of pain and rejection, and they make it. But then suddenly they don't know how to handle the success. And I think that's so important, because that's how I was able to have an 18-year career, not, a 3-4 year career. And so all those, you guys know what I'm talking about, all those rejections, all those times when I wasn't quite good enough, all those mistakes, and there's nothing more public than a missed field goal. They were lessons. One more story about that, because I think you'll love this, is there's a Quick Trip store, a little convenience store right near the stadium. And I stopped in, I got some eggs and some orange juice. I come to the counter and I had what I call my porn star mustache back then. And the lady goes, eggs, orange juice. Wait a minute, you're Nick Lowry. Yeah, you're the kicker for the Chiefs. I saw you miss that field goal. What the hell's wrong with you?
Oh, my goodness.
I was 22 for 24, and I just made the Pro Bowl. And I kicked the game-winning field goal in the Pro Bowl. But what did she remember?
The miss.
Yeah.
Yep,
And I
absolutely.
think that's true when you're a great officer in the military, when you're a policeman, when you're in any position of authority, you can do 100 things in a row right, and they'll remember the one thing. So you've got to remember that. That's the price of choosing greatness and the price of choosing leadership. And fame itself is that way too. They love seeing you go up and they love seeing you go down. And to sustain it takes creativity and discipline and consistency. So that's what the book's about.
Best lessons are always our failures. So,
Sir, we want to thank you for coming on to our show today, giving us some great stories, some good knowledge, and sharing with us your book. If it's possible, can we bring you back another day?
Absolutely. And you're the one that looks like Emmitt Smith. I apologize.
Oh, Lord, now I feel bad.
yeah, there you go.
I hate the Cowboys.
Yeah, well,
I'm a diehard Rams fan.
yeah, but you can feel good at the fact that they haven't done squat in 30
years.
30-something years.
Mm-hmm.
So, by the way, what is your team, since it's not Denver?
Oh, I'm a Rams fan.
I'm a Cowboys
fan. I tell you, Puka Nacua is a bad man. Is he incredible or what? He is so tough. Okay, I'm looking at the 49ers. And by the way, look at that. You had a head coach that lost. They were ahead by 10 points against the Chiefs. I was sitting next to my friend Harris Faulkner from Fox Television. She and I dated way back in the early 90s. She was the anchor for Fox in Kansas City back then. And we're watching the Chiefs come back against the 49ers, and it's kind of embarrassing for the 49ers that they let that game go. But the truth is, look at what they've done. That their head coach has just gotten better. It could have been so many of those coaches. It's so hard, so interesting. You make it to the Super Bowl, but if you lose the Super Bowl, it's almost like you're a loser. It's the weirdest thing. Yep. And instead, they have continued as a team to find ways. Christian McCaffrey is ridiculous, but Purdy, look at him. He's actually more of an athlete than they gave him credit for. The man can run, and he's composed. So, but you got to have a head coach that keeps learning and keeps trying. Same thing true with the Rams, right? They've had some ups and downs, and they won a Super Bowl, and I love their head coach, and his wife is the most beautiful woman ever. I met her in Kansas City at the 101 banquet. But I had to mention that. Take a look. Google his wife. She's incredible. But he is the most down-to-earth guy ever. And a lot of people say that he's their favorite coach. But both those coaches, just like all of us in life, dealt with rejection, big disappointment, and just kept learning and kept getting better.
Okay. Thank you, sir. And we will be in touch, sir.
All right, guys.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Mr. Nick Lowry. So we already at our 2-hour mark, but we're gonna go ahead and get this going. So last week, everybody tied but Mr. Mason, who's having some technical difficulties.
He's doing pretty well at bringing up the rear, huh?
Yeah. He's back, even though he's connected twice, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. So, we all had, pretty much everybody but Mason went 4-2, which made this week. Oh, look at there. Am I up top again?
Pressure's on, Mason.
Am I up top again?
You tied.
But I'm up top with the tie.
Yeah, you're right.
So, back to our playoff picture because we got to kind of go a little bit quicker. All right. We are over time. Sorry, went the wrong way. Who wants to go first? Our first game of the night, Buffalo and the Broncos. Who you got?
I got Buffalo.
Oh, we got a Buffalo fan. What about you, Jeff?
I got the Broncos.
Ooh, got a Broncos.
Yeah, I'll take that mile high altitude, and I just don't. I think the Bills are on borrowed time. I said that last week. I'll continue that this week.
All right, Mace, who you got? Buffalo or the Broncos?
I'm taking the Broncos.
Broncos. Jay, I gotta be your buddy. I'm gonna be your buddy. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills. They're getting Curtis Samuel back and their big man in the middle on that defense. I think they can slow them down just enough to take the win.
Wait, but didn't they just lose 2 receivers to ACL injuries?
Yeah, but they got their starter back. Curtis Samuel, Keon Coleman, and Shakir, plus Knox and Kincaid. That's a formidable 5 right there.
Okay.
And then James Cook in the backfield. I ain't trying to coerce you to make a change because it's already in space. Right? We just lost Jay for a second.
He said he doesn't have any sound, so I think he's rebooting.
So we're gonna move on over the next game.
Y'all still there?
Yeah, we there. The next game. Since I'm gonna wait for him a little bit, but we're gonna go ahead and get to that Texas and Patriots. Right?
Yep, we lost everyone. Just all right.
Just me and you.
Yep. I think Mace is trying to come back in. But for the next game, I have the Texans. I think I think New England's looked good all season, but playoff football wise, they kind of struggled against the Chargers. I didn't see anything offensively really from them. So I think that Texans defense, just like our guest said, that Texan defense is special. I think Drake may be in for a rude awakening tonight or whenever they play tonight.
I don't know. Look, so the Pittsburgh game, their defense carried them in that game. They scored 2 touchdowns on defense, and Houston going in without Nico Collins on offense. That's the problem.
But do you think Stroud is going to fumble the ball 5 times again?
No, I don't think so. But
there's 6 of one, half a dozen of another. I've never seen a quarterback fumble the ball 5 times in a game.
No, I see what you're saying. So we talking about the Houston and the Patriots game. Who you got?
I got Houston.
You got Houston. I'm going with the Patriots. I'm saying I think the Patriots just got a little too much right now. They may be young, but I don't think this week is the week they lose.
Okay.
So we're gonna try to wait for Mace to pop back in. He's still on the road, so he's probably in that dead spot. He's probably about an hour away from home.
Yeah.
So
yeah, who you got? Houston at New England.
So we got him on the phone, ladies and gentlemen. He's dialing in.
He went Patriots too.
We got a Patriots. Mm-hmm. So we got, I guess we're going to be doing this together, baby. Me and him going down in the fight.
I'm just saying, I think Matt Burke's got something waiting for y'all.
Did y'all do Chicago yet?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
So next up, we got the 49ers.
The 29ers.
With the Seattle Seahawks. I will go first. I think the 49ers win. I think the 49ers beat the Seahawks. And the reason for my reasoning, Brock Purdy has never lost in Seattle.
All right. Well,
And Shanahan has a plan.
So here's what I'm gonna say. I don't. First, the only thing I disagree with our guest on was he was like, Kyle Lowry had to deal with a lot of, or not Kyle Lowry, Kyle Shanahan had to deal with a lot of rejection. No, he didn't. He got a lot of positions because of who his daddy was, so he ain't have to deal with rejection. Be that bad as it may, he's another player. He's another coach who's been long tenured who has yet to deliver that title to San Francisco. I think Seahawks match up really well with the 49ers, as we saw last game of the regular season. And this is a 49ers offense who now doesn't even have Kittle since he's gone with his Achilles injury.
But he's been going. You got to remember, he's missed games this year too.
I understand that, but in playoffs, playoffs is when you need your prime players to step up.
Yeah.
And so for me, Seahawks.
Seahawks. So we got who you got over there, Mace?
Mace took Seattle.
But I got to put it in the air because I don't want him to be doing a J. Who you got, Jay?
So this is my end of the year 49ers cigar. I smoke it when it's their last game of the year. And it's been a great ride. I want to thank everybody for coming out. I want to thank everybody all the support.
God bless, drive home safely.
Yes. Please pay your bar tab before you leave because it is over for us. And it's not really nothing to be ashamed about. We just sometimes you play against teams that have better weapons and they're more healthier than you are. And I think this is the case. The only way the 49ers win is if Sam Darnold played like he did the last playoff game last year when he was with Minnesota, because he's not proven in the playoffs, which is
that's true.
It could be a problem for Seattle. But if everything goes the way it's supposed to go, Seattle has clearly the better team. Seattle wins this game. Yeah, that's what I got.
Man. No wonder you're in the bottom of the barrel.
Just about to.
Last up, we got the Rams and the Bears.
The Rams and the Bears. What you got, Mason?
Who you got?
Rams.
He picked the Rams.
Okay. Who you got, Jeff?
Oh man, I heard the Rams. I'm starting to second guess myself. This game is going to be in Chicago. The Rams aren't really used to playing in those conditions. I'm going to stick with my pick as the Rams, but this is probably for me the one I'm least confident about.
Okay. What you got, Jay?
I think Chicago, for whatever reason, they will win against the Rams today. It's going to be the Rams losing Chicago versus Seattle next week for the championship.
So I think this game goes over 50 points. I'm going to tell you that right now. And the Rams winning. It's going to be close. But the gunslinger is on at quarterback for the Rams. Too much pressure for Caleb Williams in this game. I think their Cinderella season is over. And it's going to be home game for the Rams against the 49ers for the NFC Championship. Just saying.
Stafford's only 3-3 against the Bears in in Chicago. Yeah, this is the toughest one for me.
So, and that, we went over our time. We sorry. We want to thank our guest, Mr. Nick Lowry, for coming in and giving us some good insight on kicking and his enjoyments of the game. And don't forget, if you are a veteran-owned business and would like to get some advertisement, you can send it here at the Long Distance Playbook at gmail.com. I want to thank my fellow co-hosts all for their knowledge and their laughter. We like to joke each other. We like to have fun. And we hope our last one gets home safely, right? And I will be starting my road trip here in about a few hours myself. I have to drive to Dusseldorf.
Be safe.
From long distance playbook to your home. Enjoy the games tonight. Enjoy your college football championship game. And we'll see y'all next Saturday right here on Long Distance Playbook.